Florence, Italy, a Mediterranean mecca for enthusiasts interested in ancient art and artifacts from the Renaissance era. A booming tourism industry each year enjoys millions of visitors from nearly every corner of the globe. Against the backdrop of centuries-old sculptures and ornate cathedrals, Italian youth are now poised to shake up the heart of the Renaissance once again with their own brand of artistic expression, hip-hop.
Many people associate Florence, Italy with its ancient artifacts linked to religious beliefs. Florence is also known for the Renaissance, meaning rebirth, which occurred from the 14 to 1600s. Because of Italian pioneers Lorenzo Cherubin and Adriano Celentano, hip-hop now has a strong presence in the Italian culture. Could we be in the midst of a second Renaissance? Hello, I'm Sandrina Smith, and this is Hip Hop Meets the Renaissance. This is my co-host, Deanna Howell.
Sandrina, I think the most amazing part about Venice was actually seeing the Glass Museum San Marco.
At San Marco, it was so interesting watching him create that horse from scratch.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
Honestly, my favorite had to be riding the gondola. Who can say, they see the Venice scenery with the clear waters?
The gondola was cool, but wasn't Cinque Terre just a sight to see?
I loved being able to say that I swam the Mediterranean Sea.
Cinque Terre stands for 5 lands, right? It was crazy. I think the best part actually about this trip together was getting to see how Florence was so diverse with just the food, the music. I was actually able to see hands-on an Italian hip-hop open mic night.
Clet Abraham is a Florentine designer that's making headlines. Reporter Taylor Bishop has more.
Street signs are commonly used for caution or for simple directions, but for Clet Abraham, they're beautiful works of art. Clet Abraham uses his art to show rebellion and identity in urban areas. Studio manager and personal assistant to Clet, Janine Aduji, explains how hip-hop and Clet's designs collide.
It was had something positive and also something funny to that authority and make it less aggressive and create a debate between the citizen and the authority, because we can discuss the law, the rules, so it was like kind of rebellion.
In the United States, artist Jay Shells also understands the beauty of street art signs, doing so by placing rap quotes in various locations of rap song lyrics. Study abroad student Jonathan Williams explains why signs are important to hip-hop in society.
Yeah, so street signs, I feel like are a variation of graffiti, if not graffiti themselves, which is an element of hip-hop, so it is part of hip-hop, doesn't really coincide with it. So I feel like it's just it's a way to express yourself in a way that kind of makes you blend in with the community a bit more.
With designs like these impacting the world around us, like this one by Clet Abraham, artists are able to express themselves more freely every day. Reporting live in Florence with IEI Media, I'm Taylor Bishop.
For more information on Clet or his designs, check out his website at www.cletabraham.com.
Signs in the city and the writings on the wall. European culture has made a stamp on hip-hop.
Hip-hop has influenced every continent on Earth. Its enormous reach hasn't prevented other cultures from influencing it. European culture has had a peculiar relationship with hip-hop since its inception. Andre Rucci, an international DJ from Italy, has witnessed hip-hop evolve from a form of cultural expression into a business opportunity.
At the beginning, that was more true than now. Now I think that is more business.
The core hip-hop elements weren't in existence long before corporate America commercialized them. Capitalism itself is a European concept. The philosophies of America's founding fathers were rooted in capitalism. When hip-hop first began, you were considered a sellout if you signed with the corporate label. Italian DJ Leo El Feo had this to say about the Europeanization of hip-hop.
Well, I guess when Macklemore opened up to gay people, that is very European. I appreciated that, but I wouldn't define Macklemore or really, for how I learned what hip-hop is, I can't define Macklemore a hip-hop man.
European fashion brands Versace and Hugo Boss had an apparent influence on hip-hop icons Tupac and Biggie Smalls. Tupac would eventually dub himself Machiavelli after reading Niccolo Machiavelli's The Prince in prison. Hip-hop artists are known for remixing other cultures and making it their own. David Chantina, an Italian language professor in Italy who plays bass guitar for local band Speed Kills, suggests that Italian hip-hop is less than authentic.
Hip-hop Italian artists are all posers. They wear hip-hop, they have hip-hop tattoos, but they're not hip-hop on their own heart. Only American hip-hop is true hip-hop.
The relationship between Europeans and hip-hop is perplexed. European culture and hip-hop clash, collide, and intertwine. Yet there are many ways in which hip-hop has become Europeanized. In Florence, Italy, Charleston Parham reporting for IEI Media.
For more information about European influence on hip-hop, check out IEI Media's upcoming magazine. Does music inspire your choice of clothing? Coming up, find out how hip-hop inspires streetwear in Italy.
Also, hear more about an opportunity where African American students from all over studied hip-hop and its effects internationally. This is IEI Media News, and we'll be right back after this break.
Welcome back to IEI Media News, where we are reporting from Florence, Italy.
Regulations are rising in Florence surrounding art. Reporter Shannon Clash has more on this story.
To express is to have emotions and thoughts known, but what if your expression had limitations?
Street artists from throughout the city of Florence gathered to protest the Regolamento de Street Art, regulation of street art. Musician and art history student Benedetta Natali considers legal actions as an elimination of a culture.
Even this form of art could consider it way to express ideas, a way to free.
Tourists crowding around unaware that the cultural experience has turned into a cry for help. Statement by the Association of Italian Street Art, President Romain Sarvi expressed support for public art. In the largest cities in the world or in Europe, the art are facilitated, supported, encouraged. But the reason for this regulation starts at the peak of the United States recession. Ashley Renee Davis, a native of Texas and now a resident of Florence for 2 years, explains her understanding of the city's finances.
Regulations have created a lot of controversy and sort of bad blood between them and the regional governments or the city governments that are policing this.
Under the documentation of Regolamento de Street Art, that painters, chalkers, mimes, singing artists, cartoonists, etc. will be regulated and restricted from their expression if taxes are not paid as substantial citizens. In Florence, Italy, this is Shannon Clash reporting for IEI Media.
Regulation of street art goes into effect in September of 2015.
Lights, camera, action. Students of the IEI Media Theater Troupe have defined the term hip-hop theatrics in the miseducation of hip-hop. Over the last 4 weeks, with the help of Dr. Ashabi Howard, a North Carolina Central University professor, the students have integrated their studies of hip-hop and the Renaissance in a musical performance. Admission is free to attend the performance.
The purpose of the miseducation for hip-hop is basically to show where we took that wrong fork in the road for hip-hop and how do we get back to its authenticity. So I really hope you guys come out because this is going to be a poppin' show.
Known for its simple, chic, and streetwear style, Florence is a great place for fashion inspiration.
Streetwear, however, is widely popular among young adults. Florentine resident Paco Tal explains where his style comes from and how it represents the hip-hop music he loves.
Yeah, I can say that like with the young generation, like because the fashion like in United States and in Europe like it's like it's like so different.
This month is Fashion Month in Firenze. Designers such as Gucci, Ferragamo, and Ralph Lauren are releasing summer lines taking inspiration from the streets.
Dreadlocks and braids have long been signature hairstyles of Black people as a way of expressing identity. Now, more and more other groups are transforming their locks into those styles, especially in hip-hop culture. In Florence, women wear extensions, dreadlocks, and micro braids to achieve hairstyles similar to those that they see on television. Pop and hip-hop culture have introduced young Italians to the many versatile styles of hair that are trending in the U.S. Reggae culture is deeply integrated into Italian culture. It influenced the people of Italy to not only listen to reggae music, but also influence the way many dress and wear their hairstyles, such as dreadlocks. Janine Diaghi, an African from Paris, explains the difference between a classic Florentine and the new era of Florentines that are influenced by the media.
Classic young Florence, I think, as now the TV influence every teenager around the world. I was in Cameroon a few months ago, and it's the same. The teenager in Cameroon actually is the same one we can see in Paris and Florence. Yeah, it's influenced by hip hop, by pop star, and the way they dress is it's a little bit the same. And yes, it's not just hip hop culture, but like pop culture. And that it also depends on the family. I mean, the classic Florence and bourgeois, for example, doesn't wear like hip hop. It's just like classic Parisian bourgeois with a small polo and unfortunately in Italy it's organ.
Many salons in Florence, like Aveda, don't cater to the texture of black hair, so instead, individuals choose to style their hair themselves.
Don't you think it's crazy that there are a lot of blacks in, Italy, and they don't really have salons to cater to their hair?
I definitely think it's crazy because as much as Florence is diverse, from their food to their music, why not hair? I really would love to get my hair done.
Well, what I do like is with limited resources, they do, tend to make the most of it. I love their fashion. It's simple and it's trending, around the world.
Yeah, they actually have stuff from Air Forces and stuff that back in the U.S. as well. It's pretty cool.
Hip-hop has a strong presence in Florentine nightlife.
Next up, see how drugs and alcohol play a role in the club scene. Nightlife, drugs, and alcohol use, and how Florence keeps it all in check. We are back here with more IEI Media News.
New York is famously known as a city that never sleeps, but it appears natives of the Big Apple have a lot of competition. Florence will keep you entertained until the sun comes up. As Courtney Herring shows us, the nightlife scene in Florence is in no way shy of the land of the Renaissance.
Hip-hop music is very popular in Florence. Top-rated clubs like Yab and Space dedicate certain days for playing hip-hop music, drawing thousands of tourists and study abroad students.
Basically, in Italy, it's branching off big, okay? It's bigger than it's ever been before. There was a time when they just had hip-hop groups doing concerts. There was no clubs playing hip-hop. Now all the clubs are playing hip-hop.
The convenience of partying until dawn gives them a chance to experience the true Florence nightlife.
The hip hop style, everybody like just dancing like all night, And here they know like club like opening like until like some like until like that late maybe like or opening in the morning because it's just because the city is like too small now.
Energetic hip-hop music and alcoholic drinks accompanied by hospitable services appeals to people of different ethnicities all around the world.
It's a very nice mixture of people coming out the night, some American, some African, some Far East Asian, but it's a nice mixed crowd,
If you ever plan to visit a nightclub in Florence, you can expect a very diverse clientele, all seemingly on one accord when it comes to hip-hop. In Florence, Italy, this is Courtney Herring reporting for IEI Media News.
Illegal drugs can always be found around the world. In 2014, the European Union reported that drugs played a major role in the increase of the region's economy. In Florence, Italy, the Santa Croce Piazza is a known area where drug abusers can go to get a fix. At nightfall, drug dealers know there will be people to service them around the club scene. According to the International Alliance for International Drinking, as of June 2015, Italy has changed the legal drinking age from 16 to 18. According to the Narconon, a drug rehabilitation center in Italy, nearly 3/4 of individuals seeking treatment are addicted to opiates. Others seek help for cocaine, alcohol, ecstasy, and cannabis addiction. There are now 11 rehab centers in the country trying to alleviate this problem.
Sometimes good people want to go to prison. The prison food can be good at some correctional facilities.
Hip-hop and the art of remixing go together like cheese and wine at a Florentine cafe. Cafes and prisons rarely come together in the same manner. Prisons in Italy are an exception. Martino Rampino, a legal marijuana grower who's been impacted by Italy's justice system, had this to say about Italian prisoners.
So as normal people do it, it's daily, why not prisoners shouldn't do it? It's something necessary for our being, to do crazy things.
Fortezza Medicea is a prison that houses a restaurant that's staffed by inmates. Prison officials believe inmates will benefit from contributing to society in this way. Rehabilitation prisons like Fortezza Medicea allow inmates to see early releases for good behavior. David Chantina, an art history major at Scuola Toscana, had this to say about the National Museum of Bargello.
The rooms that you visit today, now full of pieces of art or objects of art, they were full of the torture instruments.
In the Middle Ages, Bargello housed murderers, rapists, and thieves. The prison was notorious for torture and executions. Most people visit Bargello today because it is home to Renaissance art, not criminals.
We know that places were prisons, but we are not interested about this. It's not a tourism of horror, just like in other countries. But it's completely changed. The perspective is completely changed.
The purpose of prison in Italy has shifted dramatically since the Middle Ages. Then, prison was typically the last place you would want to be. Now, people wait in lines that wrap around the block to view art in them and wait months to confirm a reservation to dine in one. Just like hip-hop, sometimes the remix is better. In Florence, Italy, Charleston Parham reporting for IEI Media.
For more information on the remix of prisons, check out the upcoming IEI Media magazine.
Florence is a place where art can be appreciated in numerous levels. Artists in Florence have an abundance of opportunities to showcase their work. Unfortunately, since the 2006 economic crisis, art programs in the city have become less important.
Because of the crisis, artistic subjects or something like that are not considered so important just because there are many social and economic problems.
Now you've had the chance to get up close and personal with the hip-hop culture here in Florence, Italy.
We've hoped it's opened your eyes to hip-hop's international influence. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Sandrina Smith.
And I'm Deanna Howell.
Ciao!